Hi, I'm Cody Martin. Welcome to my channel, Home Video Hangouts. I want to just do a quick intro video to kind of introduce myself and share what I'm hoping to do with this new channel that I'm starting. I, as well as many other people on YouTube, have a passion for movies and collecting physical media. And I just wanted to kind of share some of my thoughts on movies and kind of just share how I developed this passion for movies and collecting movies. And I've been watching a lot of other channels on YouTube that focus on this recently, and that's only kind of lighted the fire in me more for collecting movies. And so I just wanted to kind of give an introduction where I'll share kind of what to expect from this channel, as well as how I got into both having interest in a wide variety of movies as well as collecting them. So to get started, I was born in the 90s when physical media was still pretty big, and a lot of people were buying everything from VHS and DVD and eventually Blu-ray. But I remember, as many others do, the days of going into Blockbuster with my family, and being very young at the time. I wasn't going there on my own, or it wasn't like some people mention where I got to know people who work there or anything like that. But I just remember going into Blockbuster with my mom and dad and looking through all the aisles of movies and finding something that we could watch as a family. And believe it or not, the movies weren't the part of Blockbuster that excited me the most. It was seeing the big black boxes they had at the front of the store where you could rent video game consoles. I remember renting things like the N64 or the early PlayStation consoles. And I don't know if I'm alone in this or if anyone else has experienced this, but there were many times where the consoles wouldn't work properly either. That was something I encountered many times. Let me know in the comments if you ever rented a console from Blockbuster and had it not work properly. But I remember the days of just being able to go there and then convincing my dad to let me rent a PlayStation or an N64 and be able to play games for a night or two on one of those. But of course, it was great renting the movies as well. And, over time, I ended up going to Blockbuster less and less with my family. But I remember there was also a local video store that rented DVDs and Blu-rays in my small hometown, which actually still exists. It's called DVD to Go. And it's crazy that it's still there, it's still operating, being that, so many video rental stores aren't making it right now. But of course, I remember the time when Netflix came out and was doing movie rentals by mail, and then eventually they had their online streaming service. And that was when I think I started watching movies more often, because I had access to just, either going online and renting movies or being able to queue up a bunch of by mail movie rentals. And that was where I first started to watch more movies. But then when I really developed a passion for watching various types of movies and appreciating them was when a friend of mine and I, who are both, my friend is very into movies as well, especially animated movies such as Pixar movies. We heard about the service or subscription service Movie Pass. I think this was in about 2017, 2018, something like that. And what it was is for about $10 a month, you were able to go to the theater and watch movies as many times as you wanted at pretty much whatever theater. You couldn't, do things like watch an IMAX movie or whatever, but you could watch any standard showing at any theater as much as you want for $10 a month. And it was crazy, super low price or something like that. And I was able to get it, and they sent you basically a debit card in the mail, and there's an app that it worked with where you would go and reserve what movie you wanted to see on the app ahead of time, and then just go to the theater and buy your tickets with the debit card, and you were able to do that pretty much as you wanted. So I was super excited about that deal. I convinced my friend to get it as well, and we were going and seeing 3, 4, 5 movies a week a lot of times at the theater like that. I started seeing pretty much everything that came out just because I could, and that exposed me to a lot more types of movies I wouldn't normally be watching. I also remember going and really developing an appreciation for horror movies at that time, which I didn't watch a lot of before. You can see behind me here, I have a poster for It Chapter 2, which is one of my favorite movies now. And part of the reason for that is I went and saw It Chapter 1 in the theater when it came out, and that was one of the first times I went to the theater and really enjoyed watching a horror movie. And so between having Movie Pass, seeing movies so often, and kind of developing an appreciation for horror movies, I started to buy some of my own movies as well. This was around the time when there was starting to be 4K Blu-rays available to purchase at places like Best Buy as well, and I had the latest Xbox and PlayStation consoles that were able to play 4K Blu-rays as well. So I got a couple of movies that I knew I really liked on 4K Blu-ray. I know one of the first ones I got was the movie Chappie. I remember that was one of the first 4Ks I got, and I think being able to see that high definition format and watch it through my game consoles gave me a slightly new appreciation for some of the movies I'd watched before as well. And so over time, I started to watch more and more movies, and then I was seeing how, streaming services didn't always have the movies that I wanted to watch. And at the time, I wasn't a big fan of buying a lot of physical media movies because of how expensive they could be. But then things changed over time to where I noticed, okay, if a new movie comes out, and I could see it with Movie Pass, and that's great. But then there's also renting movies digitally or buying movies digitally, and a lot of times digital movie rentals were $3-6, something like that. And I started to see that there's places that sold DVDs and Blu-rays and even 4K Blu-rays used. And in some cases, buying a DVD or Blu-ray was the same price or cheaper than renting the movie digitally. And I thought, well, in that case, why don't I just buy the movie and own it forever instead of just renting it once and having 24 or 40 hours to watch it? It makes more financial sense just to buy the movie used and be able to watch it forever. So occasionally I started doing that when I went somewhere that sold used movies, and that was great. I got a few movies that way, and then over time, Movie Pass, which I was using a lot, started to have some problems where they weren't able to continue their current pricing of $10 a month to see all these movies, which is understandable. And then eventually they ended up closing the service. You weren't able to subscribe and use their service anymore. And just as of recently, they've started having new plans again, and then some of the theaters have had their own unlimited movie plans as well. I know the theater chain Regal developed their own unlimited movie plan too, which I had for a while, but I also started to feel like going to the theater so much was fun, but it also, got expensive to, buy things like concessions or drive to the theater all the time. And, it's not the healthiest thing to be eating movie concessions and popcorn all the time either. So I started to, just focus more on the streaming services and find things that way. And then over time, of course, as everyone knows, the streaming services got more expensive, or the quality of the content on streaming services has gone down. And so where I'm at today is I have really ramped up my collecting of physical media because of moving to a big city. I currently live in Sacramento, California, where there are a lot of thrift stores, record stores, and other stores that will sell used movies at reasonable prices. So some of my favorite stores around here, we have a local store in the Sacramento area called The Cave, which is a record and movie and collectible store, which is a lot of fun to go to. They have 3 locations. I also like going to the Bay Area to Rasputin Records and Amoeba Music, those are both very well known. And Rasputin is one of my favorite stores to get movies used from. And I'll probably be doing some kind of walkthrough videos of the stores that I go to that I love collecting movies from. I also love Half Price Books. That's a great place to get used movies, especially when they're on clearance, and they have some kind of rare boutique type Blu-rays too sometimes. And so as of recently, I've started really collecting a lot more physical media. I've also bought movies new from places like Best Buy, especially since they're kind of lowering their prices and clearing out their physical media right now. I've been able to get some good deals on movies that way, or collections on places like Amazon for Black Friday sales. And so now I've gotten to the point where I have a pretty substantial movie collection of over 1,500 movies now, and growing, of course. And now I'm getting to that point where I need to watch and kind of go through my movies a lot more to make sure I have space for the new movies that I'm buying. And so at this point, I'm kind of at a place where I want to kind of share my appreciation of physical media and collecting and watching movies with others. So to kind of finish this out, just wanted to share what you can expect from this channel. I plan on doing kind of walkthroughs and hauls, haul videos from the stores that I like going to buy movies. I plan on doing some movie reviews, both of new movies, maybe movies that are still in the theater or just came out recently, as well as older movies. I like to kind of talk about different releases of movies, like on Blu-ray and 4K, and how they look, and whether they do the movie justice, and just talking about my thoughts on certain movies. And then I'd like to do some kind of general discussion about movie collecting and physical media collecting as a hobby, and kind of what's going on right now. You know, a lot of people have talked about, you know, the decline in stores selling it, from Target and Best Buy stopping selling lots of physical media. But just want to kind of share my thoughts as well on how I go about collecting, my strategy, and things like that. So thanks for watching this intro video. I look forward to sharing more with you. I'll share more in-depth videos of my collection soon. And thanks for watching.